I still remember the taste of the coffee he made me the morning. I was arrested, vanilla roast, extra cream, just the way I liked it. He kissed my forehead before heading to the office, murmured, "Big day, baby. You're going to kill it." By noon, I was in handcuffs. Security dragged me out of Halden Ward Tech in front of everyone. My coworkers stared. Phones came out. Whispers followed me like smoke. I looked for one face, Ethan's, but he was nowhere. Just like always when something got hard. A detective read me my rights. Something about corporate fraud, wire transfers, and classified data leaks. I couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Because I knew exactly who did it. Ethan Ward, my boyfriend. My partner, my boss. And the man who just framed me for a crime I didn't commit. The interrogation room was freezing. I sat there for hours while they showed me evidence, emails. I'd never written, wire transfers I'd never approved, screenshots doctored to make me look like I'd gutted the company's legal fund. The final dagger? A recorded statement from Ethan. "I never wanted to believe Mira could do this," he said, voice breaking perfectly. "But the audit traced everything to her. Liar. Coward. Traitor." I spent the next year in court, fighting to prove my innocence, watching my name rot in headlines. My apartment lease was terminated, my law license suspended. No firm would touch me. And Ethan, he got a golden parachute. He cashed out of the company I helped him build. He rebranded, started a clean image consulting firm. Even got engaged to a blonde PR executive who posted about healing journeys and choosing light. They both chose light and left me in the dark. But I didn't break. I vanished. And I rebuilt myself in silence. Because when I come back, I'm not asking for justice. I'm taking everything. I applied for a position at Axis Sync, Ethan's newest competitor, a fast-growing AI consultancy based in Manhattan. I knew Ethan hated them, knew he'd been trying to undercut their board. The hiring director loved me. "I like how quiet you are," she said during the interview. "Focused, dangerous." I smiled. "You have no idea." My role gave me access to high-level contracts, competitive intel, and most importantly, influence. I knew Ethan would notice me eventually. I just needed to be close enough to be useful, but invisible enough to not look like a threat. Revenge is not rage. It's patience dressed as silence, and I was ready to play. I left the city the day after the charges were dropped. No goodbye, no post, no explanation. Just a cheap bus ticket, a duffel bag, and the last bit of cash I had before the bank froze everything. I lived under the radar, changed my name, scrubbed my social media, took freelance research gigs under aliases. I slept in weekly rentals, wrote legal copy for crypto startups, and taught myself everything about cybersecurity. Because the next time I faced Ethan, I wouldn't be a victim. I'd be the storm. For 18 months, I studied his life like a case file. I tracked every asset, every shell company, every article his PR team planted. I watched him reinvent himself online, Ethan Ward. Ethical entrepreneur, tech visionary, survivor of a toxic relationship. The nerve. What he didn't know was that Mira Halden was gone. Now I was Elle Hart, a new name with no past, no trace, and a sharp resume polished with fake references and real skill. I didn't reach out to Ethan. I didn't have to. A few accidental leaks, a planted strategy report, and a single whisper through a mutual connection at a private investor mixer. That was enough. Within 3 weeks, Ethan Ward's ego did exactly what I predicted. He reached out to me. Under a burner alias, of course. His email was smugly casual. "You're good. We should talk. There's more money on my side." I didn't respond immediately, because hunger makes men reckless, and I wanted him starving for me. When I finally met him again, it was on neutral ground, an upscale rooftop bar in Midtown, where everyone wore secrets like cologne. He didn't recognize me. I wore a tailored black dress, minimal makeup, and a new accent. A touch of coldness in my smile. My voice was sharper. My eyes didn't beg. I introduced myself as Elle Hart. He took my hand and smirked. "Strong grip," he said. "I like that." I almost laughed. He didn't know he was shaking hands with the grave he'd dug. We partnered on a consulting deal between Axis Sync and a shell firm I created. It was all fake. Every contract, every term, every glowing report I fed him. He thought he was winning. He thought he was getting insider leverage on Axis Sync. But I was recording everything. Every call, every NDA violation, every confidential document he paid for. I was building a case, not for court, for collapse. One night over drinks, he looked at me and said, "You remind me of someone I used to know." I met his eyes and smiled. "Oh, what happened to her?" He shrugged. "She destroyed herself." "No," I said softly. "Someone else did that. She just came back different." He laughed. But inside I burned. I leaked the first document anonymously. A contract Ethan forged years ago, stealing tech IP, from a junior partner during the merger he built his fortune on. The whistleblower subreddit lit up. Redditors dissected it like piranhas. Tech blogs picked it up within 48 hours. Ethan denied everything, but the seed of doubt had been planted. I followed with audio clips, heavily edited, but enough to suggest insider trading and NDAs being broken. His investors started getting nervous. Axis Sync stock climbed while his new company plateaued. Then dipped. The more his name made the rounds, the more people started talking again. Not about his ethical rebrand, but about me. About Mira Halden, the ex he'd buried, the case everyone had conveniently forgotten. I made sure someone I'd from the media received the full trial. Transcript with annotations. I highlighted the inconsistencies, the forged metadata, the fake transfers that no longer held up under scrutiny. I added a note. She never had a voice. Maybe now she does. It went viral. Justice for Mira trended for 2 days. I invited Ethan to speak on a private investor panel hosted at Axis Sync. I arranged the venue, the guest list, even the press credentials. He showed up in a tailored suit, smug, charming, confident. He didn't recognize the woman who escorted him backstage. He still didn't know who I was. The cameras rolled. I walked onto the stage, not as L. Hart, not as anyone fake. I walked out as Mira Halden. Gasps from the audience. Ethan froze. I looked him dead in the eye. "Before we begin, I'd like to clarify something. I'm Mira Halden, the woman Ethan Ward framed, ruined, and tried to erase." Silence. The kind that hums in your chest. He didn't just lie. He manipulated an entire system to destroy me. But I survived. And I have proof. Screens lit up behind. Me. Emails, audio, signatures, dates, metadata, everything, months of it. Delivered in one perfect lethal blow. The moderators didn't stop me. They let him burn. Ethan's empire collapsed in 2 weeks. Board members resigned. Investors sued. The media shredded him. His new fiancée? Gone. His assets? Frozen. And me? I walked out of that building, with my name cleared and my spine, straighter than it had been in years. I didn't destroy Ethan for revenge. I did it to reclaim myself. And I didn't need fire or fury to win. Just silence. And time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel to get more stories.